Hello, everybody. It's Stephen and Walter. We are here, and we're hoping today that we won't have a technological problem. I've been experimenting. I'm not sure how it's going to work. Then Walter brings up other things all the time and just clouds the issue with a whole bunch of minutia that I don't need to know. Okay, it's coming through the sound. Yeah, minutia, which stands for shut up and fuck. But anyways, we're here, and so we'll hope the technology is working out, because we need the technology today as well, because it's the first live of the month, and you know what that brings us on the first live of the month. We have a draw, but that's not going to come up right at the moment, so stay tuned for that. So let's see who's joining us this afternoon. We got lots of people. See, they all come out when they know there's going to be a prize. Really hurt my feelings much. I thought they were coming out to see us, but apparently it's a prize. That's what gets them here. Well, let's see. Ooh, number one beating out, two people beating out Russ today. Nina was number one and Barb was number two. And Russ says, yay, I'm thirdsies. And I think I only have two subscriptions. One is probably about to be canceled, which isn't bad, I don't think. Did you understand him?
No.
I don't either. I'm not sure what he's talking about. And I'm not going to take time to
analyze. I don't think he thinks.
I don't know. I think I only have two subscriptions. One is probably about to be canceled, which is... Oh, he's jumping ahead to today's topic. I love it when I have to play mind games with Russ. But anyways, okay, I think that's what he meant. Cindy's here. Hi, Cindy. Caroline is here. Happy Independence Weekend to all of our American friends. Oh, yes, that's right. I forgot to mention that we just had the 4th of July. I hope you had a good one. You need a break from all the other hell in your country, right? So we'll still wish you, Americans, a happy 4th of July. But that's just us being nice as Canadians, because you're not being nice to us. But we're not getting into that today. Suzanne is here. Hi, Suzanne. And Charlotte and Inez and Faith and Gloria. Joan is here. Chat from Springfield, Illinois. Barbara is here. Mona is here. Bonnie from Sudbury is here. Christine is here. Arda Burns is here from sunny San Diego. It's sunny here too. It's actually kind of hot here today. Colleen is here. Dubrovka is here from Timmins. Jen is here. Pamela from Minnesota. And Sue from Rainy, Missouri. Em's here. Hi, Em. And Mary Jane is here from Massachusetts. Marilyn is here. Sherry's here. Tamel is here. Lydia is here. Hey, Lydia, we haven't seen you for a while. Vivian is here from Alberta. Grant is here. Grant says, thank you for being nice. Well, return the favor. Tell your pumpkin to return the favor. Joanne G is here. Mona says, I just dropped the subscription. I think Russ is getting ready to drop. Okay, well, we're coming to that. Josie is here from North Carolina, and France B is here. We haven't seen France B in a while. Hi, France. And Judy is here from California. So everybody's coming in. Oh, we've got another. We've got Sandra from Prince George, BC. Nice to see the Canadians, always. Since I am a Canadian, we are Canadian. We are Canadians. Whatever you want to go. Okay, so let's, I'm sure more people will be popping in, but we've got a full agenda today. And I'm sure Walter will put an axe into something or whatever. He's been doing that lately.
Hi, Jeannie.
Jeannie's here. Hi, Jeannie. So let's talk about what I couldn't show you last week, but I did show it on the Idiot Quilter, and I'm hoping the technology works. So let's cross our fingers. And it's not. Okay. I don't understand why. I don't get it. I don't get it at all. I tried everything today. It's something. My switching is not working properly. I don't know why. Great. Wonderful. This is what I didn't want to happen. So we should come back up here on ourselves, so I can't switch over to any of the other stuff I want to show you today. For I don't know why. I haven't figured it out yet. This is driving me mental. So sorry about that, people, but I don't know why I can't get these things to happen. And now I think no, I'm not frozen. Okay, let's get rid of that.
Can you do the giveaway?
I'm hoping I can. Okay, I don't know what that is. That just froze. No, wait, that's coming up. That's showing, but it's not showing our screen. Well, I can still do the giveaway. They just, well, that'll still work. The giveaway will still work. They just won't see that screen, but they don't need to see that screen. That's the only screen we need to see. So anyways, yeah. I have no idea what's going
on. Well, no, you had it working at one point.
It works until I hit that live button. That seems to be, because I experimented with this before we went live. Everything was switching over. I don't have any problem with Zoom switching it over. I use the same thing. And on here, I don't know. I don't know if it's something with YouTube, because YouTube has been screwing around with things lately. I've noticed. Some of you might see, if you're on a laptop or computer, that you got little crowns with numbers next to them. I don't know what that means. I didn't put them there. I think it has to do with frequency of how many things you write in the chat, but I don't know. Showed up on the guy who sews his live, Sean's, yesterday morning, and we were all mystified. We didn't know what that was. So maybe somebody out there does know what it is, but they always do things and don't tell us what they're doing. But anyways,
well, maybe you can do a little fake live sometime. We can
I may have
experiment with.
Yeah, because I don't know what's going on. But that's too bad. I wanted to show, like, if I hit this button right now, yeah, but that's not the real screen. Now, you see, that one's working down below.
Yeah, there's a screen and behind it. Can you pull that out?
I don't know. Yeah, I can pull it out. We can see it, but none of them can see it. There is one thing I can try. I hope this. Bear with us, people. No, that's not having an effect on it. That's not that. So I don't know. It's just extremely frustrating.
Well, when you just did that, didn't it pop up something else?
What?
That's
showing,
okay.
But that's a frozen in time.
Oh, okay.
That's not doing its thing now. Okay, we're not going to worry about it. I will have to work on this week and see what's going on. Okay. Oh, Russ says the crowns look like they're based on how much your chatting is. It says number XP above the chat window. I guess your XP is how much you chit chat. Your XP. I have no idea what you mean by number XP. Oh, I don't know.
Top fans at the top.
They've got a crown. Oh, okay. I don't know. Let's get back on with the show. Okay, I was going to show you my sister's quilt, but that'll be on Idiot Quilter, and I've already kind of shown it. I was going to show you the Christmas table runner that I've been working on. I'll show that on Idiot Quilter. I was going to show you the beach hut tote. I can show you that in live time right now. So I finished this morning, and it is an In the Hoop project, partially, at least the little beach houses are. But it actually came out pretty good, and it's all fully lined inside. This is going to be a gift. Christmas in July for our friends that are in Toronto that we're going out to dinner with in another week and a half, and I made them some other things, and I thought, well, you know, they have a sailboat, it's a sailboat. They have a big sailboat, and, well, is it a sailboat?
Yeah,
I guess it is.
What do you mean? It has sails on it, and
well, I guess it's a sailboat then. Okay, don't look so bloody pained in the face over it. I asked you a simple question.
Well, since when? No, it's a big motorboat, has no sails on.
Another thing I really like about this bag is it's big enough to put over his head and put a noose around it and suffocate him. Okay, but anyways, I think it turned out pretty good and it's a gift. Okay. There we go. Can't even do that this morning. So,
no, Patricia doesn't have a set.
they don't know who we're even talking
Yeah,
about.
it's okay. There's just somebody else we know that has a boat,
You go in the corner.
but it doesn't have sails on it.
I don't care. Okay, like let's get pedantic about this, shall we? Okay, I'm sorry. I'm old. I forgot what they have. We haven't been on their boat and haven't seen it in years. So whatever. But I got for that because, you know, beach, summer, whatever. And I just wanted to make the damn thing. So who is here that we haven't said hello to yet before we move on? We said hello to Jeannie. Phyllis is here. Hi, Phyllis. France says, I have not seen me as I was in France for most of June. Oh, okay. That's nice.
France was in France.
France was in France, yeah. Teresa's here. Hi, Teresa. And Vicky's here. Dubrovka, I think I said hello to that. Show it on your phone. You won't be able to see it well enough. Well, you saw the bag. I'll talk about it on Idiot Quilter in a little bit more detail. Alice is here. Yes, Charlotte, technology can be a real pain. Oh, Russ says more talkie, more XP. Okay. Which I don't know what that gets anybody. I mean, I'm not giving you anything. So with that, Jen says technology can be a pain, exercise and frustration. Cute bag. Thank you. Beautiful bag. That bag is really cute. Very nice. The beach hut tote is fantastic. The bag is really nice. The tote is beautiful. Very nice bag. The tote is cute. Oops, tote. Where did you get that pattern? Very nice bag. It's an In the Hoop project, and it came from Sweet Pea Designs. They're in New Zealand, but you just order it online. It's a digital download, but you have to have an embroidery machine for it. Inez, Sandra, Heather, Refis, hello, Sandra. I know you're joking about the calm down, but I don't like having orders shouted at me. Oh, Russ, go away. Russ is texting me right now. If you heard those dings, that was Russ. And now it's on my phone too.
On your phone?
Or on my... Okay, so... And Charlotte says the crown... That crown is causing a lot of confusion. Confusion? Anyways, I said I was going to text you it. And I said, don't. Geez, you're in the middle of this thing here and your thing's going off on me. Don't.
I'll put it on silent.
Okay. We're really, so those are things I'll show.
Can you tell Steve's not in a good mood?
I'm not. I am not in a good mood at all. This frustrates me to no end, this technology thing. And Walter doesn't help because he's a real bitch when it comes to like, oh, you're an idiot. That's the name for the channel. Okay, so speaking of idiots, what are you working on, Walter?
Well, I was making up 6 bags to take to the club the other. And then I went, and I still have to finish her.
Yes, you do. Yeah, he was real productive. We're coming to the thing about the bags and the club in a moment. Okay, so let's move on to announcements, right? Sewing with Stephen, Wednesday, 9 a.m. Eastern to 4 p.m. Eastern. All are welcome. Links in the show notes. Moving on. So Chatty this week. We talked about shipping companies scamming you. And we looked at all those different things and the ins and outs of how they ship stuff to you and what it may cost and whatnot. And that was generated from something I'm going to talk about. Well, we already talked about where that was generated, but we'll talk a little bit more about that in a moment. My annual birthday bash is coming up on Saturday, this coming Saturday, July the 12th. I will open the virtual doors at 8 and we'll run the whole day until about 5. And the link will be in the show notes for this today when it goes to rebroadcast, but it'll also be in the show notes for my vlog on Monday, Idiot Quilter on Tuesday, and So Chatty on Friday as well. And those of you with on the mailing list, you'll get it tomorrow at sometime in the morning. That as well. So, but everybody is welcome. And if you've never been to a pop-up sew day before, well, why not? We have a good time. We have lots of fun. And this pop-up sew day is going to be a little bit. You are just an annoying as
Well,
hell.
I just find that if I sit over here, I'm blurry.
Your eyes. Now you took me off track. There are prizes. He's having such a good time all on his own today. It's nice to see he's amused easily. Yeah, we're having prizes. What they are, I haven't decided yet. I guess I better get to that and decide it. But yes, there'll be prizes, everything, mayhem, chaos, fun, everything you ever wanted. So hope to see lots of people there. Other things coming up this week. Well, I got to go to the dentist on Thursday because you may have remembered I went for my, what is it, every other week cleaning. Seems like. And the dentist checked over and said, well, you've got a tiny little itty bitty tiny teeny spitsy little chip along the gum line. I'm not even sure where it is. Didn't really point it out to me. So I think, we should fill that. Of course you thought that. You probably have a payment due on your Tesla or something, whatever. So yeah, I go in on Thursday and this one will do it. And this is a new dentist. Now, isn't it Thursdays when the tooth fairy's there?
Yeah, I think so. Well, last few times.
I wonder if by chance I'll get the tooth fairy.
No, they won't book you in him unless you request him.
Oh, I should have requested him. I'd rather have Toddy doing it than I don't know what this new one's like.
The default is the other one, the flake.
Which do you mean the one
the
that's
default?
on?
The default is not Todd.
No, so the default is the one that's off on maternity leave.
Yeah, or the replacement.
Well, that's probably the replacement that I'm getting. She seems very nice. We'll see. I hope she doesn't take as long as the other dentist. She was bloody slow. So, but anyways, that's always something to look forward to. Other things to look forward to. Walter made a pie this week, a strawberry rhubarb pie. How was it?
It was pretty good.
Yeah, he says so of himself. Yeah, it was fine. It was good. It was pie. I like pie.
I probably put a little too much thickener in it, so it was a little stiff.
Well, just because you could blow a bubble in it.
Well, see, the problem is he always, if I don't put enough thickener in it, then it gets runny, and then he gets really upset because it's runny.
I don't get upset. I get a spoon. So it's deep dish at that point. Don't be blaming your culinary lack of talent on me.
So I'm afraid that it's going to get too thin, and then I add too much thickener, and it gets too thick.
Are you using a recipe?
Yeah, well, I am. I've told to put 6 tablespoons of, you call it tapioca, quick instant tapioca in it. I put 7 in because I had 8 cups of berries instead of 8 cups of berries instead of 6.
So you didn't follow the recipe.
Well, if I have more berries, I put more in. I like putting more in because if I don't put a lot in, then the pie sags and it's like it's got no filling in it.
But you didn't follow the recipe.
Well, that's too bad.
Well, baking is different from cooking. Baking is actually a science.
And
it's chemistry.
And when's the last time you made a pie?
Well, you won't let me.
You can make a pie here. You can do the dough and the pie.
Yeah, right.
I'll let you make a pie. Go right ahead. Be my guest.
My guide, you're so perfect. Anyways, Darcy says Walter's feisty today, cracking me up. Okay, feisty's one word for it. I have another word, starts with a B. Well, I have another word too that starts with an F though, and it goes with the B word. Don't be so sure about that, Dubrovka. Artist says, you two are making me laugh, which I need with all that's happening here. Thanks. Okay, glad we're bringing some joy into you. Well, Andy's here. Hi, Andy. Teresa says, a new dentist will often opt to fix something that the old dentist has been just monitoring for years, really. Yeah, well, it's probably.
Not really. This place will try and fix everything.
Yeah, they try to fix everything and find new things all the time. Yeah. Barb says, did you buy rhubarb at the store, or do you have a rhubarb bush?
No, I bought rhubarb at the same place I bought the berries, which is a farm. So it was freshly grown.
Yeah. We did talk though about that we should put in a rhubarb
Yeah.
patch or something for it. But we talk a lot about those things we should do. We have a whole
And,
backyard that could have lots of things in it, but you know.
and as I used quick cooking tapioca, comes in a bag.
Yeah, but you didn't always used to use tapioca.
No, I
That was
didn't because I used to make peach pies and used to complain it was always runny.
I did not complain.
And we had for dinner one day we had a baker, you should know what to do, and she said try quick cooking tapioca, and I've been using that ever since for everything.
Okay, that was really great jumping into that because no one probably knew what you just said. You said at one time at dinner we had a baker.
No, we had a lady that was a master baker that did our Corrine.
A master. I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, she made our wedding cake, and she's a baker that makes all kinds of.
I used to work with her. We had a culinary part of our school that I worked in at one point in time, and yeah, she's the one that
Baker, chef, whatever.
She's a master baker. Gotta be careful with that, and she's really good. And she suggested the tapioca trick. Inez says, "I use Jello powder to thicken and color the jam."
Maybe that's okay for jam, but I don't like using that.
Yeah. Glenna is here. Hi, Glenna. Dubrovka says, Stephen, my husband Al is watching and laughing. He had a cleaning, and guess what? Small cavity found. Got it filled Friday. $300 later. He knows what you're talking about. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. It's always like, ka-ching, ka-ching.
I didn't know. I didn't think rhubarb had natural thickening. My mother used to cook down rhubarb and put cornstarch in with it.
I never knew that about rhubarb either. My mother used to make rhubarb pie, but she also used to stew the rhubarb.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of moisture in rhubarb.
Yeah, and also there's a lot of moisture in strawberries. So I had 3 cups of rhubarb and 3 cups of strawberries.
I don't think rhubarb has a natural thickening in it. I really don't.
No.
That's the first I've heard of that idea, but well, obviously it doesn't because Walter had to thicken it.
Yeah, so, well, before I had runny pie. It was runny before, but that's also because of the strawberries.
Fine. Like I said, cooking is one thing. Baking is supposed to be a science. It's a chemistry. So that's what they say. You can get away with a smidge of this and a dash of that when you're cooking, but when it comes to baking, you're supposed to be very exact in your measurement. That's why I asked you if you followed the recipe, worked out ratios, but apparently you didn't. But it still tasted good.
Guide that says use this much thickening for every 1.5 cups.
Okay. Marilyn says, is that the type of tapioca that has a little soft balls in it?
No, it looks granular. It sort of looks like sugar almost.
Oh, so it's not the kind my mother used to get. We used to call it fish eyes.
Yeah, no, it doesn't. It'll if instant cooking, if you thicken anything or sauce with it or that, it doesn't get lumpy or it doesn't really. It goes clear.
Well, anyways, I don't care if it's soupy or if it's
Clubhouse. Well, it's our brand, Clubhouse Instant Tapioca for thickening.
Teresa says rhubarb is one of the things I will not eat. Well, good, we're not having you over then, because we eat it all the time, morning, noon, and night. Yep, good in every case.
And it says rhubarb's watery.
Yeah. Rhubarb's got a lot of moisture in it.
If you're thinking of some other plant that helps thickening plant.
Yeah, there probably is such a thing. Anyways, yeah. So then we tried an experiment and it worked out. We decided last Sunday night to have French onion soup and salad, and so we did the French onion soup on the barbecue because we buy these ones at Costco. They're already made up and they're frozen little like
pucks
kind of a thing, and you put them in the bowl and you put them in the oven for like 40 minutes or something, and they all melt and do their thing. So we just put it in the barbecue. But here was the strange thing. It actually had a hint of barbecue taste to it, which was not unpleasant at all. But I guess it must have picked up, the smoke from the barbecue or whatever, and it sort of gave it a kind of an interesting flavor. Um, so yeah, so another thing you can do on your barbecue. We've done pizza on the barbecue before too, or you have on that. We have a pizza stone though. You do it on the pizza stone, don't you? In the
Mm-hmm.
barbecue, yeah. So that's just like doing it in your oven. You know, you shut the lid. Um, Melissa says rhubarb doesn't have natural thickening. In my opinion, crab apples do. Well, they could. I don't know. I've never really cooked a crab apple. When we were kids, we used to eat crab apples off the tree, and my mother said, "Don't eat those crab apples; you'll get stomach aches." Never really did. They're really sour. I remember that, and kind of wormy. It wasn't the best tree. So you got a little protein with every bite. And that says my mother never used recipes. That's why I never how to cook. Or I guess why I never learned how to cook. Yeah, well, there are some people like that. They can just do it, you know?
Well, actually, if you cook meat and stuff like that, if you depending on what you're cooking, you
No.
can just throw it together.
Yeah.
But usually for baking, you have to be a little bit more careful, especially when you're doing like pie crust. Filling maybe that is sort of like pie
Barely not.
crust is go away. Pie crust is you have to have a proper recipe.
So
You can't just throw it.
Gloria says, so you had smoky French onion soup. I think she
Yeah,
means smoky.
smoky.
Yeah, we did. And actually, tasted fine. It's actually kind of nice. Oh, you never know. Yep, that's smoky, is what she said. So, anyways, that was last week. Now, if you saw So Chatty on Friday, you know that we talked about shipping and everything, and that was all stemmed from a suggestion made by one of our regular subscribers. I don't see her on here today, but Julie, and many of you will know who Julie is. Julie sent me, bless her heart, sent me a really nice gift. And as I said, she sent it from the Fat Quarter Shop, and she paid a fair amount for shipping. And then when I got it, I had to pay duty and taxes and everything on it on top of it. And so that was what the whole thing on Friday was all about. Um, and I felt kind of bad for Julie because I mean she did this out of the goodness of her heart and everything, and I really appreciate that. Um, she didn't. She had no idea. Well, nobody knew. We didn't know that we were going to get nailed. You know, basically nailed twice. Nailed by Fat Quarter Shop with shipping charges, of course. They always do, and then nailed at the border by the brokerage company UPS that picks it up. I hate UPS. They double dip all the time. They are a horrible company to deal with when it comes to shipping. In fact, well, I said this on So Chatty. If when I go to a spot to buy fabric online, and if it's someplace I've never dealt with before, I always try to explore how they're going to ship it out. Is it going if it's going to come by a courier and they say they're shipping it by UPS, I have to really want it badly because there have been times when they have nailed me with extra charges from it all. So, yeah. So just beware. And that's what the whole So Chatty was about on Friday. So if you didn't see it, you can check it. It's there. But I did really appreciate the gift. However, I don't want people sending me things. Okay? It's nice of you. I appreciate the thought, but I don't need anything. And I know some people say, well, they wanted to send us something because, well, Julie said it. She said, well, you have prizes on here and you do the so days and you do all that kind of stuff. And I do those things because I like to do those kind of things. They bring me joy. So that's why I do them. If I didn't like doing them, I wouldn't do it. So, I appreciate the sentiment, from people who, want to send me something and that, but don't. Don't. Especially right now with things going across the border. Like, there's just too many
There's too many
problems.
problems.
Way too many problems. Save your money. Send me a virtual hug. I think I just threw up a little in my mouth. Okay. So Walter talked about his bags that he made.
I just made simple bags.
Yes, he did. Of course, he left it to the last minute.
Well, you were saying about I didn't really think of bacon bags until you said it earlier in the week, and then I did leave it.
Yeah. A couple of weeks ago, he decided that, well, can you make me some of those trash buckets, those scrap buckets you make, the thimble ones for the group I'm so with? I said, yeah, I got some already made. How many do you need? Well, it counts counting them off on his fingers and then one extra, so 6. I said, yeah. And what about the dragons? That might be fun. So I had a few of those in stock too, but I made a few more. I said, okay. And I thought, well, what the heck? They're sewers. So I threw in a gnome seam ripper and I threw in a zipper jig, which really mystified them. They didn't know what a zipper jig was. Told them to check YouTube for that. And they were all garment sewers, so I didn't put in a binding spool for them because they definitely wouldn't know what to do with that. Um, I think I put in one of my gnome flexi keychains that have the mini scissors that fold up on it. I don't know if there was anything else, but anyways, it was they were like Walter made these bags to put it all in because I said to him, well, maybe we should go to the dollar store and get some gift bags because put them in that. So that's why he decided. I believe it was Thursday.
Yeah.
He decided he was going to make these simple bags. And well, how did you do it? You did it on your serger, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. I cut them out. I measured the thimble, and I figured out I needed about a 15 by 17-inch bag, 17 inches high, bottom of it, 6 inches, and yeah,
They're nice. They're like
they
they're
were
they're
they. I
plain.
didn't have any decoration on them. I had this canvas that I kind of wanted to get rid of,
Yeah.
so I made it from this canvas I had, and I just sewed them up fairly quick. Made some.
Yep. So, anyways, they were as happy as pig and shit. And speaking of pigs and shit and flying pigs, there was one lady there with her daughter, and what? The daughter's not really a garment maker; she's a knitter, isn't
She's
she?
a knitter. Yeah, she comes in knits, and I. This is only the second time. Like she says, kind of boring knitting at home, so it's kind of fun. Just
Yeah. So, anyways, she got a bag as well, but her mother was sitting there, and her mother, we were talking about 3D printing and that kind of thing, and she says, "Can you make a pig?" And I said, "Yeah. What kind of pig do you want?" And she goes, "A flying pig." And I went, "Yeah, I probably could." So I happened to be my printers were on here at home, but we were down there, and so my printers can be run by my phone with the app. So I went into where I get my models, and I put in flying pig. First thing came up was flying pig. I said, "Like that?" She goes, "Yeah, that's perfect." I says, "Okay." Dialed it in, sent it to the printer. It's going to be about an hour and 15-minute print. So it was pretty much done by the time we got home. And so it was all done. She wanted to hang it. She just wanted a little one. She wanted to hang it from her rear view mirror in her car. I don't know. But I thought, and while I was doing that, I thought, well, she's there with her daughter, so I'll throw in one of the trash cans, and I'll throw in some. I asked her if she was a quilter garment. She said, "Oh, she does it all." So I threw her in some sewing things, the things that I make and stuff like that. And we went down. I had a bag, an extra bag laying around. It was just a dollar store type bag. Put it in. Went back down on our way to Walter's nephew's place for a concert. More about that in a moment. And she wasn't there. She said she was going to be there all day, and she wasn't there. So I brought the flying pig back home. So I think you've got a sewing day, what, in August?
yeah, I got 16.
Okay, so maybe she'll be there. You take it down with you then, and you can give her flying pig. But
Somebody's complaining that I keep cutting out. Fuck, possible.
yeah, no, I don't think so, Susan. I think it may be your speakers. Are you on voice activated speakers or headphones? Because if there's any pause or a delay, you might get that. But it's definitely not us. That I know the technology is working fine with that. Dubrovka says, this is a tip. If you get something shipped from US and they mark it that it is a gift, no duty. I've heard that, but I'm not sure that's true. I'm not sure if that's true.
It is up until $60.
So if you put it in, put a value on it under $60.
Yeah.
And then you get by. Like any of the things that I send down, like to anybody that wins something on here as a draw, when I send it down the States, I mark it as a gift and I value it at $10. So I don't want anybody having to pay duty or anything on it. So I guess that's how it works. It's the combination.
Somebody, Andy says, yes, I was cutting on. I don't possible.
I don't see how that's possible either.
That's strange.
That's strange. Let me do something. I do have a new, I think there was an update on all of this. And maybe
I fall in the noise suppression thing.
Yeah, well, this has always been on, but that one, the noise gate, that one I didn't.
Oh, Joanne says she hears us fine. So
maybe it's your ears.
I don't know.
I don't know. Okay, I just turned off two little things that I had put on since last week because a couple of you said that it sounded like we were cutting out. We'll see if that makes any difference or not. Vanessa says Walter's cutting out.
Okay, how is it now?
Well, there's a time delay, remember? Yeah. They won't know until we see it. So, yeah, let us know if it's still doing it or not, because if it is, I have no idea. I have no idea. This is something new. Okay, so you might be cutting out because you have a tendency to mumble. This is your microphone.
Okay.
Speak up. Because obviously I'm not cutting out. Oh, stop it. I'm getting very annoyed with you today. The Faith says we can see his lips moving but don't hear him. And I'm fine. So speak into the mic, Walter.
Hello, everybody.
He'll blame it on me anyway, so I don't. And no cutting. So I thought maybe it's the phone versus the TV. Who knows? Who knows? Things are just happening. There's gremlins in the machine. Okay, so I was going to show you some pictures of the concert we went to because our great nieces, every year, once a year, we get invited over to their parents' place, to their house, and these girls play guitars and a lot of other things. They play guitars, trumpets, flute, and now something called the hurdy-gurdy. I had never really heard of a hurdy-gurdy, but apparently it's a thing. It's a I was going to show you a picture of it, so it's going to have to wait. I'll do it on Idiot Cool. I'll probably do it on my vlog tomorrow because I've got a little bit of a little video clip too that I wanted to play for you so you can hear what a hurdy-gurdy sounds like. It's a weird instrument. It reminds you kind of bagpipes, but it's got this crank on it, and she cranks it, and then there's some like stops that she pushes that are, it's kind of works like a violin, but different. I can't explain it. Look it up on Google. But she's taking lessons with a guy on the that's located on the Isle of Skye. So, off the coast of Scotland. And she does it by Zoom. And they got this. We never asked them. I wanted to ask them, and I thought maybe I shouldn't ask. But they had this. There's a guy in Quebec who makes these hurdy-gurdies, and they take some time to make, and supposedly we got a bit of a lesson about them from Brooke, who was playing it, one of the girls. She said that this was an instrument that they played in the Middle Ages, in medieval times, and this guy makes them, so they're all handcrafted. So I am sure this must have cost a lot of money for it, but it's kind of unusual. But these girls are definitely very musical. The one girl who plays the hurdy-gurdy, she also plays bass guitar, and she's just a little thing. And this bass guitar is huge. And watching her, that's entertainment in itself as she sits there and she's very serious while she's doing it. Well, she kind of looks up at you. She's like her little fingers just go like crazy. And her sister, older sister, Claire, plays the lead guitar. I guess it's lead guitar. And their father plays guitar with them as well. So it's a kind of a family band. Now Claire, the oldest one, is going into high school in September, and she got accepted at the high school we have out here for the performing arts. She had an audition to go to that, so she's excited about going to that in September. And yeah, and they play. She plays trumpet, and the one that plays bass plays flute. So I made them up a bag of like sort of musically themed items. I gave them both a little statue that I made with a treble clef and a microphone, and I made them on 3D printer, was able to put their name and the year on it. I just thought that'd be kind of fun for them. And then I made them both a recorder. Now, I didn't think the recorders would probably work. They do, just a little too well. Their mother wasn't particularly thrilled with it, but they just picked them up, away they went, and they played them. I remember playing the recorder in grade 7. Well, I didn't really play it. I made it scream a lot, and probably the teacher as well. That was hell. I never did master the recorder, but I made those for them, and I had a couple of other little items in there too. So it was a nice concert. It was kind of fun. We were there for kind of dinner. Yeah, it was a good time. But anyways, I will put up pictures and this little 16 second, not 16 minutes, 16, you wouldn't be able to handle 16 minutes of hurdy-gurdy, I can tell you that. For you on the vlog tomorrow, and you get an idea of what I'm talking about. Let's see. Judy says maybe your files will show up now since you changed something on your computer. No, I don't think they will, but hey, let's give it a shot and see what happens.
Nope.
Oh.
No,
it's not coming on there. Yeah. No, it's not doing it.
That looks like it's a screen capture that's coming up there.
I know, and I don't know why. Maybe something got...
Can you put that one up again just for a
What?
second? I just want to look at something. It's a screen capture of today.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
It's captured the screen, and I don't know why it's doing that. Maybe something screwed up on my Stream Deck.
Yeah, I think so.
Like you'd know.
Yeah.
No, like really. Oh, I think so. Yeah. Okay, so Susan says, sound good now, Walter. Okay, so maybe it was that little extra thing I put on, filter that I put on.
Is there a capture where you keep your captures on stuff?
No.
Okay.
I'll worry about it later.
Okay,
We're doing
fine.
a show here.
Yeah, right.
Okay. Kim is here. Hi, Kim from Halifax. Joanne says, how old are the girls? Well, I guess the oldest one would be 14 or 13.
Well,
she's going to high school.
The Brooke is 11 for sure.
Yeah, the youngest one's 11, but she's going to be 12 at the end of the year.
I lose track of how old they are.
I think Claire's 14.
Yeah, I think so.
I think so. Yeah, that's about the right age for grade 9.
Yeah.
So she's, yeah, I think. But anyways, yeah, they're growing up way fast. And speaking of nephews, nieces, and great nieces and great whatevers and that, so I get an email from my sister yesterday. Yeah, yesterday. I guess my niece, Sarah, you've heard me talk about Sarah before. She was coming home from work. She worked really late on July the 4th because she works for a small company that's based out of the States that does all the fireworks.
And of course,
things.
July 4th.
Yeah, and so she worked until she was on her way home at midnight from that. And she got into a car accident on the 401, which is a major highway here. And everybody braked in front of her real quick. She knew she was going to rear end the car in front of her if she didn't do something, so she swerved. But when she swerved, she caught the car with the front end of her car, and her car that she was in flipped and hit the barrier wall. She's fine. They took her to the hospital, x-rayed her, but she's fine. She didn't stay in the hospital and everything like that. I'm sure she's very shook up about the whole thing, but she totaled her car. So don't know what they're going to do. But anyways, like my sister said, well, cars can be replaced. Yep, for sure. But that was kind of shocking for her. So, and my niece does suffer from depression, and this is going to be even worse. I'm sure she's probably recovering from shock, for one thing, and then everything else. So, yeah, not a good situation. But at least physically, she was not hurt. So that was a good thing. Um, let's see. Catherine. Oh, Catherine, I don't think I said hello to you. Walter was cutting out here as well. Okay. But he's not now, right? So, good to know.
I'm not saying anything. So
Well, that might be why he's not cutting out. Yeah. Well, last week I found out after the fact that there was some cutting out, but I know what the problem was with that. I was running, there's a printer right here. Just right here. You can't see it off camera. And I was running that while we were online. Now, there's a noise suppression program that I've always had on this OBS. And, you know, it works sort of like the Zoom noise noise suppression works the same way. I didn't think it would pick up the printer, but it did. And so it was cutting in and out as it tried to adjust for that. So I have the printers all on pause right now. They're not running for that. So that shouldn't be a problem. Okay, so time for draw. Hopefully this works. Okay, so the draw today, all you need to do in the chat is put in 1, 2, 3. The numbers, the numerals. 1, 2, 3. No commas, no periods, no punctuation of any sort, no spaces. Just simply 1, 2, 3. So I'm going to give you about 3 or 4 minutes to do that right now, and then we'll let Nightbot pick our winner. So go for it, people. And it's coming in fast and furious. Look at them all. Oh, what a prize. Yay. That's the only reason they're here. Yeah. And they're still putting them in. And here they go. Okay, well, while you guys are putting in 1, 2, 3, we're going to get started on our topic for today, which has to do with subscription boxes. Now, I know I'm not sure if subscription boxes are as popular as they once were. I know, especially in the United States, whole lot of different quilt companies, quilt stores have all kinds of different subscription boxes. In Canada, to my knowledge, we really don't have many at all. But I don't know if they're as popular as they once were. And, you know, they always sound like a great idea, getting one of these quilt subscription boxes like you're going to get. Well, I had one for a while. And that was
Isn't that
one.
the Sewers Club?
Yeah, the Sewers Club. And I got in on it on the ground level, and it was a fat quarter box every month. And I think I was paying, well, with tax and everything, I think it was close to $50. But they curated it. What meant was you filled out a form saying, you know, what kind of fabrics you preferred, which ones you definitely did not want. Like, for example, I did not want anything floral, because I usually do not gravitate towards floral prints. And the first month I got it, it was okay. The selections were good, no floral, and yeah, so I continued it. But I did it for about 6 months, and there were a couple of problems with it. First of all, suddenly I was getting florals and other ones that I said I did not want. So I wrote to them and said, okay, this month's box is supposed to be curated, and I had checked that these are fabrics I did not want, and I got those fabrics. I got a apologetic letter or email back from them saying, so sorry about that. We got things messed up. Don't worry. We'll correct that. Next month, no. So plus on top of it all, I was getting all these fat quarters and I wasn't using them up. So I'm getting a pile of fat quarters, and you know, fat quarters, it's easy to mass a lot of them, and then what do you do with them, kind of a thing. So I canceled the box. Now, it wasn't because of anything like the price wasn't bad for what you were getting. It was just the fact that I had really, the only reason I canceled it more than anything wasn't even the fact that they sent me some florals, was because of the number of fat quarters that I was accumulating. And, and then you got thinking about it, how much you're spending a year. See, they usually do it by the month, right? But if you start to multiply that out for a year, then you realize, holy crap, what seemed relatively inexpensive for a month, I'm spending a lot of money. And if you're not using the stuff, well, that's pricey. Okay, so I am very hesitant to even consider the idea of trying a subscription box, no matter what. Um, Now, I know you've got lots of them in the States to pick from, and in Canada, not so many. But there is a new one, and we're going to talk about that in a minute. But first, we're going to find out who our winner is. So, and she's winner. Winner is being chosen. Oh, I am sorry, M. I can't send you the prize. You're too far away. It would be astronomical for shipping. So I'm sorry about that, Em. I really am. So we're going to have to do another draw. I am so sorry, Em. Okay. Bonnie in Sudbury, a Canadian. Yay! Bonnie, you are our winner. So, Bonnie, what I need from you is your mailing address, your full mailing address. Please send that to my email. My email is in the show notes. You probably already have it, but if not, I'll just type it right into the chat for you right now. I feel so bad.
Yeah.
Maybe
you should look into it as to how much it would cost to ship to Taiwan.
It's also a question of whether or not he gets it.
Oh.
Also, whether it'll get all opened up and destroyed. You forget what their environment politically is there for us, because the Chinese and the whole bit. But M, can you do you have access to Amazon in your country? Because maybe I can work something else out in that case. Yeah, so I've got my email address down there for you, Bonnie. Okay. Next month, another draw. All right, so I was going to show you, and I can't now, the website for this package. One of my subscribers, one of my newer subscribers, sent me the link because she's thinking about getting it. And it sounded pretty good. I know you guys can't see what I'm going to look at, but I need this for my reference for it. I have in the show notes the link to this site. It's called Quilt the North Quarterly Quilt Subscription Box. It is Canadian, and there was a video that Lily, it was Lily who sent this to me, gave me the link for, and I went to it and I watched their 10-minute little blurb about it. Brandy from Quilter on Fire was sort of interviewing this lady. Her name is, well, her company is called Penny something. I'm just looking for it on here now. I can't find it. But her name is Monique. Oh, Penny Spool Quilts is the name of her website. Penny Spool Quilts, but her name is or Monica. It's Monica, I think. And well, okay. What you get, this is what they say: a Canadian quilting experience delivered to your door every 3 months. Discover new designers, exclusive projects, and a bespoke tour of Canada with each box. I hate that word, bespoke. Every box includes a Quilt the North exclusive mini quilt or project pattern by a Canadian quilt designer. So you're getting a pattern. All the fabric you need to complete the project, sourced from Canadian suppliers. I believe they're, according to what I saw on the video, they're trying to use Northcott Fabrics, which is a Canadian fabric company, but I'm sure many of you have heard of Northcott because they sell many of the quilt stores in the States carry Northcott. A bonus block pattern designed by me, this Monica, inspired by a region or city the designer calls home. Okay. Printed designer bio and highlights of their home region. Local goodies, treats, or souvenirs that celebrate their corner of Canada. Ships quarterly. Shipping within Canada is included. International shipping calculated at checkout. Next shipping date is September 1st. Well, that's actually their first shipping date because they've just launched this. So how much do you think this is? Well, if you get a quarterly subscription, that means you're going to be charged every 3 months. So you get a box every third month. 108 Canadian dollars. There'll be tax on this as well. You can get a 6-month subscription. So you get a box every month for 6 months at $105.84 per box.
No, is it a box every month for 6 months, or is it a box every 6 months?
That's a good question. I don't know.
Are you getting a box if you get a 1-year subscription? Are you getting a box every month for a year?
I don't know. It's not explained.
Because so then you're paying, like, if you're getting a box every month, you're paying over $100 every month for a box.
Yeah. I don't know. Now they did have I did look up something. They had an FAQ. Maybe it's here. More details, click here. Okay, let's see. That's what's included in the box. We know that. Okay, FAQs. Okay, what subscription options are there? The options are pay-as-you-go, 6 months or a yearly subscription. For pay-as-you-go, your payment method will be charged every 3 months before the next box ships. For a 6-month subscription, your payment method will be charged every 6 months for the next 2 upcoming boxes. For a 6-month subscription, your payment method will be charged every 6 months for the next 2 upcoming boxes. So does that mean you get every 6 months 1 box? And for a yearly subscription, you'll be charged once a year for the next 4 upcoming boxes. So does that mean every quarter you get a box?
Okay, or you get, for the 6 months
subscription,
you do get 2 boxes. So, okay, you're getting 2 boxes for 6 months, 4 boxes for a year. Or you get paid, or you pay as you go. You're just getting
a box every 3 months.
You're getting a box every 3 months, but you pay a set price, like $108 for every box that you get.
Okay, right? This is very confusing.
If you get a 6 months subscription, then you still get your box every quarter, but you pay less per box. So you're paying for 2 boxes up front. You're paying for 2, okay, 6 months subscription, you get 2 boxes, right? But you have to pay for the 2 because, okay, every 3 months you get a box, right? So, and you have to pay for it each time, right? So then in 6 months, you're going to get 2 boxes, right?
Okay.
So then you have to pay up front for those 2 boxes.
Okay, so right? That's how you get
them. And for a year, you got to pay up front for the
4 that come out in the year.
So you're going to have to pay like over
$400
for 4 boxes.
Yeah. Okay. Then she's pushing here the Canadian element, shop Canadian for us Canadians. And it says, is it only for Canadians? Nope. While the box is designed with Canadians in mind, we ship worldwide to anyone who wants a bit of Canada in their mailbox. Then she talks about skill levels. It's ideal for advanced, beginners, and up. Can I skip a box? Yes, you can pause or skip anytime. Is it really 100% Canadian? It's as close to it as possible. We get everything we can from Canadian companies, but not all items are actually made in Canada. There are no manufacturers of quilting fabric in Canada, for example. And of course, our designers are Canadian, as are the small businesses and artists we work with for the extras in the box. We're even sourcing our packaging materials from Canadian companies wherever possible. Well, on the one hand, this sounds really good. On the other hand, it's a selling trick. Are the patterns or fabric Canada themed? No. The main quilt patterns are modern traditional, and reflect the designer's unique style. The regional inspiration comes through in the bonus block goodies and stories. No Canadian fabrics. We probably have all the moose, hockey, and snow prints we need. Okay. What's included in the price? Everything listed above, including shipping within Canada. The materials include all the fabrics needed to complete the project, including any specialty items like bag hardware, hand quilting thread, etc. Regular sewing thread, batting, or pillow forms are not included. We assume that you have your favorites at home. And what is the pre-sale I've heard about? If you subscribe before July 1st and 13th at midnight, you get 10% off your first payment, plus a free PDF Maple Leaf Blocks pattern to start your Canada sampler. Okay. I have issues with this. Lily said she thought she subscribed to it. And to be honest, I said to her, I don't know. It's, if you work it out, it's over $400 for 4 boxes in a year. And there's some things that bother me. She says on her thing, okay, so you're getting a pattern. Okay, what do patterns cost? It's an exclusive pattern designed by a Canadian pattern designer. All right. Exclusive, I think they said on the video, meant that this is a pattern that has not been released yet. So you're getting in on the ground level on a new pattern. Okay. But patterns run about 15 bucks Canadian on average. So 15 bucks. Beautiful fabric to complete the project, curate it from Canadian suppliers. So a bonus block pattern. Okay, she said, now I sent her an email asking for more specifics. And she claimed that you're going to get 3, and I think she said yards of fabric. And I have a problem with that. First of all, she's trying to be Canadian. We don't deal in yards, we deal in meters. I know it's a little thing, but also a meter is 3 inches bigger than a yard. I did have that somewhere. Of course, I can't find it now. So anyways, that's what she put in there. But she has a picture on the site showing you what it might look like. Because I asked her, I said, you know, like, I'm happy that you're doing something that's definitely Canadian themed and all that kind of stuff. I do think it's a little pricey for what you get. I would like to see an example of what you can expect in a typical box. She has a picture posted. It is staged. It does not show. It shows 3 fabrics all in a solid color. She said it was basically a mock-up is what they had, because she couldn't show a picture of what was in the box because that would be giving it away before the fact, and so that's part of the surprise. Okay. I don't want to be a surprise when I'm dropping $104 or $108 for this thing. And then they showed a chocolate bar, like a Canadian chocolate bar.
Well, I hope they don't ship it in the summer.
Yeah, like that's supposed to represent the extra little goodie. Oh, you're also going to get a block that she has designed that's supposedly based on wherever the pattern maker comes from in Canada. Well, so what? You throw up a block, you can draw up a block of anything in no time at all. And she's sending you a PDF. Not any supplies to make it, so I don't know. And then she talks about printed highlights and stories about the designer in their home region. Do we really care? For $108? I really don't give a shit. I mean, I'm sorry. I can look them up if I want to on the internet. I'm sure there's a bio out there somewhere about them. So the bottom line of all of this is I'd be wary of it. Now, if they said this was going to be $50 a box and I could cancel anytime, she said you could skip. She didn't say you could cancel. How that worked. There was no explanation for that. I mean,
Is this a quilt store or is this a...
well, I don't know. Her site, I did kind of go to her site, and she has an online site. I have never reviewed it because it's the first time I've heard of it, but what she sells is not fabric. She sells patterns. And she's got 11 pages of patterns. And I don't know if these are all her patterns. I don't think they are. And then she's got a bunch that show blocks. And I have a feeling those are the blocks you will get. And she's charging for a block pattern $8 on her site. And patterns are 16 Canadian. So yeah, but she's not selling fabric. Oh wait. Well, she's got fabric bundles and kits. Well,
Well, and they're all like
she has two, and they're both sold out.
basic colors.
Yeah. Which
Solids.
yeah, they're solids. So yeah, I mean, I don't want to discourage her, or I don't want to say bad things about it because I've never dealt with her. I don't know, but it just seems to me that this is a little bit on the pricey side.
It looks like she's in Ottawa.
Yeah, she is. She lives just outside of Ottawa. She said that in an interview. So I don't know. So this made me think about subscriptions in a more general way too. I know these businesses have to make money, okay? And one of the ways they make money is by selling subscription boxes. Some do it more successfully than others. But I've heard the same thing from many people. They get it for a while. They're really excited. You know, it comes in the mail and they can't wait to open up their box. That's the first couple. But after a while, they start to lose their interest in it. Also, if they're project-based boxes, sounds like a great idea. I'll make a bag this month. I'll make a pillow slip or cushion or something next month. But then you hear people saying they never get them all done. They get behind in all of that. And so these things pile up. So I don't know. Now, some people probably love them, and that's okay. I'm not one of those people. Hi, Julie. So anyways, yeah, I don't know what to say about it, but let's extend this just a little further, get away from the quilting. Let's go beyond quilting. Think about subscriptions for a minute. I had another, it's a 3D printing site that I go to a lot. There's a guy, he's very knowledgeable, and he's been working on something that he wants to call a 3D Printers Guild. And he's been prepping people for this over the last month. He's had little videos talking about some basic things about 3D printing. And he does very good videos, and he's very knowledgeable, and he's very helpful with it. And I thought, well, this might be okay to join. But I thought, yeah, but he hasn't said anything about if this is going to cost money. And I figured it was. Oh, yeah. 170 American dollars a year. Now, I thought, oh no, that's $230 roughly Canadian. I don't think it's going to be that valuable to me for that kind of thing. Maybe for someone who's a rank beginner, maybe it would be, but that's still a lot of money. And so I wrote to him and I said, hi, Chris, I'm one of your people that's sitting on your waiting list, and I watch your videos and everything on YouTube. Really like them. You do a really good job. I've learned a lot. However, I'm not going to join your guild because I think it's just too expensive right now. And he came back and he says, yeah, he says, I get it. He says, but then he offered it to me at $17 a month. Okay. Suddenly 170 to 17 a month. That's more expensive if I got a whole year.
Yeah.
And did it that way by month, because that's 170, 10 months plus another 34.
Yeah, but then you can opt out of.
But he could opt out of it. Yes. Yeah. But no, I'm not spending that kind of money on it. But this is how a lot of companies and a lot of businesses work. They get us hooked into subscriptions. You know, Amazon has a subscription now on certain products. They, you know, their algorithm assesses what you're buying. So let's say health and beauty products that maybe you buy on a fairly regular basis. Well, you can get a subscription. And so every month they will automatically bill you and send you your product. Now, maybe on some things that works out okay, but they try to do that to me, and I'm not doing it because I'm not going to commit myself to something like that. Next thing you know, you have a pile of this stuff because you're not using it up fast enough.
Yeah, like I mean, it seems like we are basically being subscription to death on everything. Everything that you want, you can seem to get a subscription for.
Yeah, yeah. So now, just looking back here, Dara says penny spool quilts. Yeah. And Charlotte said she used to get 2 subscription boxes, or no, she used to get 5. She's cut down to 2. Heather says, my first Quilt the North subscription box ships tomorrow. Heather, I would be really interested in knowing what you think of it, and which plan you went for. I would really like to know what your opinion is of it when you get it. So if you don't mind just dropping me a quick note in my email to tell me about it, I'm very curious. M said, I didn't know what I was participating in. I thought you were mic testing or something. Oh, okay, M. Because it's every 6 months you get 2 boxes. Still quarterly. Just discount for paying earlier in advance. Okay. Yearly is 4 boxes, 1 per quarter, but discount for paying in advance. Okay, so Russ has got it figured out.
Yeah.
Barb says, I recently started getting the project box from Source Club. I've received 3 so far and I like them. I pay $50.39 Canadian every month. This price includes taxes and $8 shipping. Yeah. I didn't have anything against them. I just was, like I said, reason I stopped getting them was because my fat quarters were piling up and I wasn't using them. And then they actually did start while I was subscribing to half-meter cuts. And I got those a couple of times too. But the same thing. And some of the fabrics, they were not following what I had said I didn't want. They weren't looking at that.
Yeah, I think you said you didn't want browns either.
Yes,
and
I was getting that.
You didn't want browns and you didn't want florals. And you were getting florals,
I was getting florals and browns. And even after I wrote to them and said, look, I filled out the form, I very clearly put, and they said, oh, sorry about that. Yeah, we'll be careful about that. No, they weren't. And then I think I wrote to them again and said you were going, and I got this excuse. Yeah, we've had some new people are working for us now, and they're a little unsure. They get a little confused, so just bear with us. No, somebody needs to check. If you're
offering to curate the stuff, then you need to be on it, right, for your customers.
Yeah. So that's those reasons were the reasons why I stopped it. But if it's working for you and you're happy.
Yeah, I mean, if you like it and you're happy with it,
go for it. It's like this one we're talking about, the North Quilt or whatever. I just would have liked a little bit more information to know what I'm investing in because it's a lot of money. So, I don't want to be disappointed by that. But other things in subscriptions now. Okay. Everything for your computer. Used to be we could outright buy programs. Not many of those left. If you want to use Microsoft Word 360 and all its features and the whole bit, that's a subscription. I was lucky. I was able to buy outright when I first got my MacBook Microsoft Word. I mean, it cost me $400 or something like that, but I'm not going to be paying them every month for their program. No way. Other things like that too, that you get, like Adobe, their Photoshop Elements, Adobe Illustrator, things like that. They've all gone to a subscription service as well with those. So yeah, you're tied in with those products. And if you don't use them on a regular basis, well, that's a waste of your money, really, Think of some other things about subscriptions. What about media? Okay. You know, if you want to read a newspaper online now, you can read a bit of the article, then they cut you off and said you can subscribe to this at a monthly rate of whatever. Like for the,
People used to subscribe to newspapers, and they
yeah,
used to subscribe to magazines and stuff like that.
yeah, we used to do that, but now they've extended it further, and they automatically are taking the money off your. I mean, you used to be able to cheat the paper boy, not pay him. Not be, oh, I'm sorry, come back another day. That's what some people would say. You know, I remember that when I was a kid, kind of a thing. I never had a paper route, but I did take over a paper route for a kid when he went away with his parents for a while. I was really excited about doing that because I was going to get the money. Yeah, collecting.
I had paper route for a while.
Oh yeah, how'd that work out?
Oh, it was always pain, and then there's always somebody that would pay you in pennies.
No, yeah. So there you go. But now today it's just automatic off your credit card. Now, okay, that may not be as bad as some things, but it's very easy to get trapped into, oh, well, that's really inexpensive.
That's $10 a month.
Yeah.
This is $10 a month. That's $20 a month.
I have several subscriptions actually, and they are subscriptions for things that I use on my computer. Like Google Drive. I pay for that for Google Play. I pay for a program that I use on our televisions through our Apple TV called Infuse, so I can connect directly to my media on my MacBook, and we can watch it on any TV in the house. That's only $1.46 a month, and Google is $4.51 a month. These are Canadian prices. Then I have a subscription to my little box that doesn't seem to be cooperating with me right now, Stream Deck. That costs me, I think, $3 and something a month. The version of it that I use on my iPhone, because I have the physical box here. I don't pay a subscription for that because I bought the box outright. But in order to use it on my cell phone, which is over by or my iPad, I had to pay the subscription. But I use it all the time, so that one, and it's not that bad. But there's 3 subscriptions I have every month. I have subscription to, but it's once a year, to something called AVG, which is my virus software. And of course, a lot of these subscriptions, they do automatic renewal. And you got to watch that, because that is the default in many cases. And you're merrily along and forget all about the fact because you paid for it for a year. And then suddenly they notify you that you're about to be charged, your credit card's about to be charged for this thing, and you kind of forgot about it. So we have a subscription like that for our Ring doorbell. Then there's your television, right? Or your streaming. If you've got Netflix, it's a subscription. If you've got Disney Plus, it's a subscription. Any of the other ones, a lot of people have quite a few of those. Music, Spotify, Apple Music, different things like that. Prime Music, that kind of stuff. Those are all subscriptions. They're not that expensive, but they all add up. But Walter has a tale of a danger with a subscription that has to do with music. Tell him about Sirius.
I used to have Sirius XM on my car radio, and I liked it at first and all other stuff. But then after a while, they started playing the same songs over. I only listened to 1 or 2 stations, and they kept playing the same songs over and over and over again. They stopped refreshing them for a period of time. So I decided to discontinue it, and I found out you cannot discontinue your subscription online. You can't just go in and say I don't want it anymore. You have to phone somebody. So I phoned somebody, and what they do is they give you a hard time, and they try and talk you out of try and talk you out of unsubscribing, and they'll offer you all kinds of discounts to get to stay on. But I just didn't want it anymore. So then they'll try and offer you like other features that you can like use it on your phone or use it somewhere else. And then they'll go and I kept saying no, I just want to get rid of it. I want to get rid of it. I want to get rid of it. And then all of a sudden they hang up on you. I got hung up on about 3 or 4 times. they wouldn't talk to me. So I got still stuck with a subscription that I still had. And eventually ended up complaining about them on Twitter, that it was impossible to cancel. And I got a special number sent to me from the Twitter, asked if I could take that post down. And they gave me this special number, and I called them, and that was the magic number that I could cancel from them. But I have read lots of other horror stories of people online about how difficult it is to cancel Sirius XM.
Yeah. Well, Russ says he was able to cancel XM online the last 3 times he canceled, and then resub for very cheap later.
I decided I'm not even
Yeah.
bothering with it. I have other things I listen to now. So
yeah. So you see, once they have you, they don't want to get rid of you. Oh, Julie's here. Hi, Julie. So other things that there's now subscription services too, and we all know them because we see the ads all the time. All the food companies, that delivery companies, like Skip the Dishes has a subscription. Then there's the food places, Fresh or whatever, all the different ones that they have out there, that have all the ingredients in the box and everything like that. Those are all subscription plans, and they're not particularly inexpensive, but they cater to the people who just don't know how to cook or don't want to do a lot of grocery shopping because they're busy people, like the millenniums probably all love that kind of thing. And they advertise it as you're going to create gourmet dinners for yourself. And also you can buy boxes or subscriptions to boxes that will help you maintain your weight, so you don't get piggy fat. All this kind of stuff. So, and those are attractive features and make people think, hey, what the heck? And, not that expensive. Well, I don't know. I think if you add up, never got one, not sure exactly how much they are, but I think if you added up all the ingredients that are in those boxes for a week, I have a feeling they're going to cost you more than what you pay in the grocery store.
Yeah, well, you're only getting the ingredients to prepare that one dish, right? So
yeah,
you'll only get one tomato or one green pepper or something like that.
So leftovers, no. And already talked about software as well, but everybody wants, this is the thing, right? It is a gold mine for businesses that do this kind of thing, because what they're counting on is that you will forget that you have a subscription. And a lot of people do their finances via credit card. They charge everything with the credit card, and at the end of the month or something, they do a reckoning with their accountant, maybe pay off their credit card. We do that. We do it for the points, actually. But we pay it off. Actually, I pay it off every week. But we do that now all the time. It's easier than carrying around cash when you go out for dinner, when you go to buy something. You have to have discipline. You got to keep up on it. But it's very easy to forget what you might have in subscriptions on that, and especially if you're just automatically, well, at the end of the month I'm just paying whatever it is, and that's what they're counting on, that you will forget to that you have it. And also you have to assess for yourself, am I getting the use out of that product that I did when I first started the subscription? And that goes back to like the subscription boxes. Someone said here, I think it was Bonnie, she said, bounced up to the top.
No,
where is it?
Oh, there it is. Right around there.
Yeah, Bonnie says, I used to get fat quarters monthly, but wasn't using them up quick enough, so I canceled it. Yeah, that's true. And Lydia says she had the same exact experience with Sirius X Radio. It's garbage. Yeah. Lisa is here for us in Canada. Maybe it's different the way it operates in the States, because it seemed like
Russ was able online. You can't cancel the one in Canada online. You have to call them.
Yeah. And Dara says, got one of the free boxes from my son's subscription and noticed many ingredients were about to expire. Cheap for them to buy nearly expired goods and pass on at premium prices. Recipes were dull too. And Dara is referring to one of the food meal boxes. Yeah, well, that's interesting. So not so fresh, or about to be not so fresh, I guess. And I suppose that's a problem as well that you could run into. And like Walter said, he had a lot of trouble canceling Sirius. A lot of these companies put up a fight. Um, they say, oh yes, you can cancel anytime. Then you start trying to, and you can't get a hold of somebody, or you fill out the form they may have online for that,
They keep you
and
waiting online
yep,
forever, or on their phone forever too. And then all of a sudden they'll hang up on you, and it's like, okay, how am I going to get rid of this thing?
yeah. So yeah,
So
we have to beware.
what is bad about that with a serious experience is that even if you want to, I mean, even if later on you're enticed to subscribe again, I don't want, just for the fact that I know it's hard to get rid of it.
Yeah. Charlotte says even Walmart has a subscription for free delivery of groceries and more. It's about $100 a year. Yep, I've seen that.
Yeah, that's what they have for, I think, President's Choice.
Oh,
They have, or on the Superstore or whatever we have, or one of our other
it's a
grocery
Canadian
stores.
grocery store.
You can get a subscription, a PC Insiders Club, and it gives you the free delivery for free pickup anyway for your groceries, because they charge you for pickup.
Yeah. So yeah, they're all on it. Dara says the mystery fabric subscription boxes are great for people who like surprises. I discovered I have to like any fabric I buy. Yeah, I don't want a surprise. Um, yeah, I don't need those kind of surprise. That's an expensive surprise. I think. So I agree. Well, you know something though? We've always had subscriptions, didn't we? Think back 50 years ago. Ooh, for some of you, you may not be able to think that far back.
Well, we had magazine subscriptions, and we had
music subscriptions, but you know, like what was it?
Columbia
Record House.
Yeah.
Buy 12 for 99 cents.
Yeah.
And then you paid for those through the year, because I forget. I had a subscription.
I did that one time, and I don't know, you got like 20 records free, or
yeah, it was
10 records free or something like that for 99 cents. But then you had to buy X number later on, and you'd end up in the long run paying for it back. So
yep.
And newspapers
too. And then there was book clubs. Doubleday Book Club. I remember that. I used to be a member. Every month they sent you a their pick of a book that had been on the bestsellers list or something like that. They were usually hardcover as well, but you supposedly got a discount on it. But that was expensive for that kind of thing. But they had a policy where if you didn't like that book or something like that, you could send it back as long as it was in the original wrapping and had never been opened. Kind of a thing. So yeah, I remember that. My mother had that membership too. Well, we were readers, so yeah, but even then that was expensive, but that was another subscription too. So the world was full, and this isn't a new concept. What's new is they can reach more people quicker than they ever were able to in the old days, because they used to have to do it through mail. Now they just do it.
And there's more
email.
Products that are we use today than we did. We didn't use computer programs years ago.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, we listened to music and we read, but we didn't. There's all these subscriptions for all kinds of things here these days that we never had to subscribe to when we were younger.
No, Dar, I think you're right. The book club books were not the ones that you could generally just go out to your bookstore and pick up with that. So that was you made it more exclusive sounding or something like that. And Reader's Digest. Oh, I had a subscription to Reader's Digest for years as a kid. My grandfather used to get it for me every Christmas, give me a subscription to Reader's Digest.
TV Guide.
Oh, TV Guide. Yeah, that's right. Everybody had a subscription to TV Guide pretty much with that. So, yep. So, this is not something new. But anyways, we're coming to the end of our time. So the reason I thought this was a good topic today to talk about is because of when I found out about this new Canadian quilt box subscription. And so, yes, Heather, I'll be really interested to know what you think of what you got with it. Doesn't mean I'm going to subscribe to it, because I still think $104 or whatever per box is a little pricey. That $104, I can still buy a lot of fabric for that. cheaper. I mean, think about it. They're saying if she's claiming, the owner of this, that you're getting 3 yards of fabric in every box. Well, we average $20 a meter yard. Let's just say yard. Okay. Here in Canada, that's $60 worth of fabric and a pattern at 15. That's $75 and a chocolate bar. So, but she's not paying that for the fabric that she's putting in the box because she's getting it wholesale and the pattern too. So yeah, she's got to make some money on it. I don't doubt, but I think it's just, I think there's a, I don't think she's going to get as many people subscribing to it because I think when you start to go over $100, there's a price cutoff point, you know, where people will think twice. So
and you're also talking if she's putting blenders in the package, you're getting 3 meters of blenders. Blenders sell for less than $20.
Yeah,
so
that's right. So yeah, interesting. It's going to be interesting. So yes, please, Heather, do, if you can send me take a picture too and send me what was in your box. I would be really interested. And with your permission, I will talk about it either here or on the Idiot Quilter or something as well. Who knows? Maybe it'll be so fantastic. I'll go, oh my God, I want it. I'm feeling not, but we'll see. Anyways, on that note, just another reminder before we go. Stephen's Birthday Bash Pop-Up Sew Day. This coming Saturday, July the 12th. Doors open at 8 a.m. We're done at 5 p.m. Come and go as you please. There will be prizes. Okay? And I think I will have to put a qualification on that. So sorry, Am. The prizes are only going to be available for those that are Canadian or live in the continental USA, kind of a thing. Because shipping, like, it's horrible. It's painful. So, okay. So that's it for us today. And hope you enjoy the rest of your day. And we'll see you next week on the other things that we put up. So say goodbye, Walter.
Goodbye.